Okay everybody, this is mooneydashcam. Tonight we are in Bensonhurst Brooklyn. We're going to be talking about a guy by the name of Joseph Fama, who became a heroin dealer out of the need to pay the mob back for gambling debts that he couldn't cover. We're going to be going to his house where the police eventually raided. So let's flip this around and get into it. The address that we're going to is 1438 60th Street in Bensonhurst, like I said. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at mooneydashcam. Also, please leave suggestions for future videos in the comments. I very much appreciate that. And hit the notification bell so you guys know exactly when I post a new video. Okay, let's get into a little bit of backstory on this guy right here. So him and his future wife Barbara actually grew up across the street from each other in Little Italy. His wife Barbara said she met him when she was 11 years old, and he instantly wanted to date her. He was 10 years older than her. You just heard me real time realize that when she was 11, he was 21 and asked her to date. Could that be possible? So sadly, that adds up, and I think when they were around 15, when she was around 15 years old, they started dating. She was 25? Oh my goodness, okay. Alright, we're gonna power through that part and continue the story on. So fast forward, they end up having 5 kids together. Over the years, he had a bunch of different jobs. He was a construction worker, he was a taxi driver, he actually sold cigarettes for a little while. Whoa. Which wasn't the most legal thing ever, not taxed and stuff. He would sell them to like everyone in the neighborhood. So he was kind of like a guy that was a little bit outside the law in general. And he was a serious gambler. He'd be out till 4 or 5 in the morning. Wow, these roads are horrible. He'd be out till 4 or 5 in the morning, having his wife wait outside these clubs, these little spots he would gamble at. Lose a lot of money, sometimes win money. Barbara, his wife, said that he never really let the losses get to him, which was good. So eventually, he's such a gambler that he wants to open up his own gambling spot. Now, you can't just do this on your own, especially back then, especially in Little Italy. So I guess he knew a few Gambino guys, and he asked them for their permission. They agreed. I believe they gave him a bankroll, and he kicked up a percentage of the profits to them. Probably every week. That's how the mob usually does it. So he's doing that. Now he's a Gambino associate. He's living large. He's got his own gambling place. Probably feeling real good about himself. Then in 1982, in the middle of the night, he gets a phone call, a frantic phone call. The call is from somebody that is handling his gambling spot while he's asleep, I guess, in the middle of the night. And there's a high-stakes player. Wow, these roads. There's a high-stakes player about to break the bank. He's about to win so much money, more money than they could actually cover. So he gets up, he rushes over there. He ends up getting there, and he watches the guy beat them for $1 million. So they're now down $1 million, and they don't really have the money to give him. So they scrounge up the money to give him, and now he's in debt to the Gambinos, and there's really no way you could get out of it. The Gambinos suggest in their, you could imagine their nicest form, that he's going to start selling heroin. It's not really a suggestion, of course. He's more forced into doing that. But he's not like a regular heroin dealer at this point. He's wholesaling the heroin. So he's buying the heroin from a supplier and selling it to dealers who are dealing it on the street. So he's kind of like a middleman. It's almost like his hands aren't getting dirty. He's just fronting money for the drugs, getting money back when he passed. So he lay low. He did that for about a year, wholesaling heroin, and paid back his debts. So you can imagine, in a year paying back your debts, he owed $1 million. He's making a serious amount of money, especially in the mid-1980s. So after he paid off the debts, how are you going to stop when you're making that much money and getting away with it too? So they started living life. They started going on trips. They started buying expensive things, going shopping, gambling higher and higher stakes. I mean, he was known to gamble hundreds of thousands of dollars in a night. Stay up all night gambling. Big, huge wins, big, huge losses. And whenever his wife would start to question if they should keep doing what he was doing, he would shut her up with money. He'd put 5 or 10 grand in her purse. She said it wouldn't even fit in her purse sometimes. And he'd tell her to go shopping. And of course she did just that. What's she supposed to do? She can't really control this guy. He's clearly losing it a little bit, even though he's making a lot of money. It's not really doing the right thing. Not really. He's definitely not doing the right thing. He's a drug dealer. At this point, the gambling in Little Italy is not enough for Joe. So he would go to Atlantic City so often and gamble so much money there. One of the owners of the casino introduced a friend to Joe and said, "Here, meet the guy that paid to have the 19th floor in this building built." Kind of joking around, but that's how much money the guy gambled. That he was joking that they paid for the 19th floor to be built. At one point, the wife wanted to have a New Year's Eve party at the casino in the room, and she told one of the employees, and the employee said, "Oh, how many people do you want? Oh, what exactly do you want to set up?" And they threw an 150-person party in the ballroom, food and drinks completely comped. Even the owners of the casino showed up that night to their New Year's Eve party. Right behind me, oh wait, I can't forget, say hi to the truck. Right across the street here is their house that they ran a lot of this out of. At one point, he was winning so much that he called his daughter to meet him at the helipad on 34th Street. He landed the helicopter, she picked him up, he gets in the car with a briefcase full of money. She said it was about $1 million, and he goes, "I want to buy a boat." So they went and they just bought a boat. Okay. When I pulled up, I thought it was this house, which would be crazy, or even that one next door, but I think that's maybe apartments. It's this one right next to it. The one with the Range Rover in the driveway. That was the family home. Oh, so I never actually mentioned, there are 5 children, 4 boys, 1 girl. The girl's name is Tony Ann, and she comes into the story here in a second. That's the daughter that picked him up at the helipad. So at one point, he's on a bad losing streak at the casino, and one of the employees of the casino talks to the wife and says, "You can't let him lose like this. You have to stop him from coming here, at least for, some amount of time." And she said, "You think I have any control over him?" So she goes, "Okay. Does he keep his money around?" She said, "Yeah." So the employee was like, "Take some of the money, invest it, hide it around the house." So that's what she did. She didn't really have any investing experience, so she bought nice stuff for the house. She figured I'd invest in the home. Not the smartest thing ever, but hey, it's what she knew how to do. And she hid money all around the house as best she could from him. As this is going on, the daughter is developing a cocaine habit. And to supply her habit, she starts selling cocaine. So she has like a little business going on out of the house, totally separate from the father's drug business. And the father kept the drugs and money inside the house, which is like a big rookie mistake for any drug dealer. But he didn't start out a small-time drug dealer. He just went straight to wholesaling, which is not usual. So he didn't really have the drug dealer knowledge. So listen to how bad luck this is. The DEA gets tipped off that the daughter is dealing cocaine. So, on April 25th, 1984, it's a Wednesday, at 7:30 p.m., the police bust into the house, knock down the door, bust into the bedroom, cuff up the wife and daughter. Now, I heard some forms of the story where the other kids all got cuffed and arrested too, and then sometimes they're just totally left out of the story. So I don't really know what happened with them, just to let you guys know exactly what I know. Now, it's also Joseph's 50th birthday, so he's not home. He's out at a birthday celebration, not yet home. So it's just the wife and the daughter home. Look at this beautiful building here. I think it's just a private home. I mean, it's kind of crazy. It would have been very funny if this was the drug dealer's house. It would have made sense. So they start tearing apart the house, all right? They're going through everything. Now that they're only there for the daughter, they don't really know. Wow. Hold for noise. I think that's what they say in the movie business. Are they coming down this way? Yes, they are. Now, is this a real ambulance or... Oh, it's a real ambulance. Normally in these communities, this is a Jewish community that we're in right now, they have kind of their own ambulances that do their own thing. So I figured it might have been one of those. So they're ripping apart the house for this drug dealer, and they end up rolling upon the father's stash, which was 15 pounds of heroin. This is the place they did it. Look at that old school camera. I wonder if that was there from when they were there. Who knows? It looks like a camera from the 80s, right? So you could imagine cops rushing in here. The daughter said it was 16 agents that came in. They find the stash and they start going nuts. You know, they're happy. They made a big bust right there. They're very excited. In total, they find 15 pounds of heroin, 2.5 pounds of cocaine, $3.4 million cash, over 100 pounds of weed, 28 firearms. It was the biggest cash seizure in the New York area at the time. Let's get back in the truck for the rest of the story. Let's not get hit by a car. Don't think I didn't remember to show you guys the outfit, even though it's dark out. Come on, what'd you think this was? I wasn't gonna have good lighting for my fit check? Alright, enough of that nonsense. So, like I said, Joe wasn't home. When he got home, he got arrested, of course. The daughter only had 8 ounces of cocaine and $27,000 cash in the house. They arrested them all, and they were really pressuring Joe to get his connection, to get his supplier. They wanted the next high guy up that he was buying the drugs from. So they were threatening his family with very high sentences, very long sentences. He was posted at, well, not posted. His bond was set at $10 million, and his wife and daughter's bond was set at $5 million each. He kept quiet because in those days you kept quiet or else you died. His daughter, for 8 ounces of cocaine, got 8 years. Like, almost unheard of. He got 20 years, and get this, his wife got 34 years. They were not playing around with this. They slapped the biggest sentences, the longest sentences they could on these people, just to get him to cooperate in some way and give up his supplier. The mother and daughter end up going to prison together. They go to the same prison. They were like a couple cells away from each other, which they were both thankful of. Of course, you don't want to be in jail with your mother or your daughter in either sense. Like, you don't want to both be in trouble, but there was a little bit of comfort there, which I can understand. The daughter got out after 5.5 years and had to leave the mother. She was actually like a little bit sad that she had to leave the mother. It was one of those bittersweet type things. Now in 1992, after serving 8 years, Joseph Fama dies of a heart attack. This is only about a month before the wife was set to be released. So I guess they were given a lot of leniency on their sentences after they got sentenced. I'm not exactly sure how that works because they got put in prison around the same time and she was only going to serve 8 years and a month. Seems a little weird, but that's the information I have. So she ends up getting out. She passes away in 2012 of natural causes. And that is pretty much everything I have to tell you about this case. Pretty weird case. His son ends up getting involved in crazy stuff later in life. He actually ends up doing a hit for John Gotti and keeps his mouth shut. I'll do a whole video on that, don't worry about it. See you guys in the next one.